Your comics launch tip of the day for comic book creator crowdfunders is to use the 60 characters in your project title wisely. Every Kickstarter campaign has certain constraints. And one of those constraints is you are limited to 60 characters for your project title. But there's a lot of creators that don't use all 60, or they just go with the name of their comic book series, and that's the project title. From my perspective, that is not taking full advantage of the Kickstarter platform. Rather than using your project title simply as the title of your series, understand that your project title reads as a headline for your entire campaign. It's the thing that shows up in searches on the Kickstarter homepage, in email notifications, when people share your project. You got 60 characters. And so I really strongly encourage creators to use them and use them wisely. A few reasons for this is that first, your title is the single most read piece of copy on your page. We talked in some of my other tips about the importance of making a great first impression and how your first impression matters. Well, the actual very first impression that you get to make when you launch a Kickstarter project is your project title. It's the thing that people see. Sometimes it's the only thing that people see before they make that decision whether or not they're going to click on it or they're going to scroll past it. The second reason why using the 60 characters that Kickstarter gives you is a really good idea is that Kickstarter is a search engine. And so including key terms, we're talking genre, format, vibe in your title, along with what the name of your series is and what your book is called, by including that, you will rank better and you will perform better as Kickstarter is a search engine. And then third thing is that often for the work that we do as comic book creators, our title may not be uh, enough to clarify exactly what the project is. Now, there are some creators that are really good at creating titles that say exactly what the book itself is. And others, your title is a little bit more, or a little bit not so on brand, or it doesn't exactly say what the thing is, and so you need a little bit more. And so, for example, if you had a project title that was called like Dark Covenant #1, right? Well, sounds mysterious, but by adding a few keywords, Dark Covenant, a supernatural cyberpunk horror series or something like that, that would give you more opportunities to show up in more searches on the Kickstarter platform, and it would give the reader a much better idea about what it is that he or she would be clicking on. My pal John Lee has just announced a new title for a book that he's doing with Mad Cave called Orla. Cool title, unique. It'll rank well, but it doesn't say what it is. With a short title like that, you would want to pair it with a rom-com, murder, horror title. Including those keywords will be very important on a project like Kickstarter or a platform like Kickstarter in order to get that and to make it rank well. And so a formula that I've used successfully over the years and that works for me, I call it the comic book Kickstarter project title formula for success. And it looks a little bit like this. It is book name, unique selling point plus value proposition. Now, sometimes you're not going to be able to include all of that, especially if the book title itself is very long. You might just be able to get in one unique selling point. You might be able to just get in something unique about the value proposition that you are providing there. But where possible, these are the kinds of things that I'm talking about. With many things, it will help to see examples. So some examples for this include some books that I've done would be Happy. So there's Comics Tribe books. Happy Hill #1, supernatural horror vacation thriller. Okay. So, and that there's a title where supernatural horror, pretty common, right? But adding that vacation element hopefully would make it stand out just a little bit. So that's a great book that Joe Mulvey wrote and drew with the help of Rich Duick and another great team of supporting cast of creators. So that's an example there. Another Comics Tribe book, Sync #1 through 13, monsters, deluxe edition, vampire crime horror. So I'm trying to call out deluxe edition that this is, not the book that's going to be in stores. And then vampire crime horror. Again, crime horror is crime horror is a genre, and vampire crime horror will hopefully help it stand out a little bit more. Another example, not done by me, Smut Peddler 2014. Lady Porn Conquers Earth, okay? Says what it is. Womanthology, massive all-female comic anthology. Womanthology is a great title, but they use up more of their characters and say what it is. Scurry Book 1, Doomed Colony, a post-apocalyptic mouse tale. So all really good examples of this, and would rank very well on the Kickstarter as far as keywords. Now, the Comics Launch Planner does include some tools to help make sure that your copy is on point. I have the comic product sell sheet, which asks a lot of prompts and questions to help you flesh out your pitch so that you're identifying the keywords, the pitches, the hooks that are going to work well. And you can use that along with things in our page design checklist to make sure that your title hits and that you craft a strong title. In conclusion, a well-crafted Kickstarter title can pull more eyes to your campaign, improve conversions, and help your comic stand out in a crowded field, as you will find when you launch your project on Kickstarter.
Prepare to launch in 3, 2, 1.